So, what would you say if I told you I was a vegetarian? Most people would think either why is she a vegetarian or what kind of foods do you eat? That's mostly the reaction I get from people after I tell them I've been a vegetarian for the past 7 years. Usually they follow with more questions. Some people just don't usually understand the kind of why we choose this kind of lifestyle and what vegetarianism is. So hopefully I'll shed some light on what it's like being a vegetarian. Today I want to inform you about vegetarianism. So first I'm going to talk about the different types of vegetarianism because there are different types. Some substitutes we use to get our nutrients, the health benefits you get when you're vegetarian or vegan, and I'm going to talk about how being a vegetarian helps the environment overall. So, a semi-vegetarian or a flexitarian eats limited quantities of meat. They either eat, it ranges differently. They either eat meat some days and don't eat meat other days, or they don't eat red meat and they eat white meat. Some vegetarians don't really think that's really vegetarian, but I put it on the list anyway. A pescatarian eats fish, but they don't eat any meat or poultry. A lacto-ovo-vegetarian, which is the kind of type that I am, eats eggs, dairy, but doesn't eat any meat, poultry, or fish. A vegan eats fruits, grains, and vegetables, but doesn't eat any kind of meat, doesn't consume any animal products. They don't eat any foods that use animals to make. They don't eat any They don't eat any food that uses animals to make a type of food like honey, and they don't wear anything that comes from animals like makeup tested from animals or fur or leather. So there are many benefits to being a vegetarian. Because vegetarians cut out entire food groups, they need a lot of vitamins and minerals. Vegetarians consume other types of nutrients to replace meat, such as soy and tofu. Soy is plant-based and it's a native crop to Southeast Asia. It was introduced to the United States in the 19th century, and the United States today produces half of the world's supply of soybeans. Soy contains protein, isoflavones, and fiber. Processed soy foods still have high levels of protein. Tofu is made from soy, and it's also made from water and a curding agent. Tofu has high levels of protein and calcium. It's easily adaptable food, and it could easily adapt to like different types of food with spices and sauces. There are two different kinds of tofu: soft or silken tofu, and firm and regular tofu. Soft tofu is usually used in soups and salads, and firm or regular tofu is usually used in stir-fried dishes. There are different benefits to eating tofu. Tofu has 3 times less calories than meat or dairy foods. It has higher levels of protein and significantly less calories than meat or dairy products. For every 11 grams of tofu, tofu has 11 grams of protein, and those 11 grams and that amount has about 100 calories. For every 100 calorie serving of meat, it only has 8.9 grams of protein. And for every 100 calories of cheese, it only has 6.2 grams of protein. Half a cup of tofu also has 5 grams of fat, or you can opt for low-fat tofu, which only has 1.5 grams of fat per serving, compared to 40 ounces of beef has 15 grams of fat, and 1 egg has 5.5 grams of fat. Tofu is beneficial because it has no cholesterol because it's plant-based. Half a cup of milk has 9 milligrams of cholesterol, 40 ounces of fish has 75 to 100 milligrams of cholesterol, and 4 ounces of beef has 113 milligrams of cholesterol. Tofu also provides 22% of the daily calcium intake you should take. Soy milk has many health benefits as well. Consuming soy milk, you have more intake of calcium because eating meat absorbs less calcium in your system. Drinking soy milk also lowers the chance of osteoporosis. Soy milk has no lactose, and people are less likely to have any allergic reactions to soy milk. Soy milk has protein and it reduces cholesterol, and the FDA says that soy milk can reduce coronary heart disease, and soy milk has no hormones like cow milk does. Vegetarians can also help the environment. Eating animals contributes less to if you believe in global warming or climate change. Food Democracy states that becoming vegetarian is the best way to help the environment. The UN has addressed that the meat industry is a main contributor to climate change, air pollution, water shortage, loss of biodiversity, and land degradation. Raising animals for meat causes about 18% of bad gas emissions in the environment, whereas cars, transportation, and vehicles only emit about 13% of those gases. The Environmental Defense has said, if every American skips one meal of chicken per week and substituted vegetables and grains, the carbon dioxide savings would be the same as taking more than 500,000 cars off the U.S. roads. The World Bank has also addressed that 90% of the rainforest land that was cleared since the 1970s has been used for meat production, mostly to raise the animals, but some also to grow grains and stuff for these animals that they're going to kill. Eating meat from non-factories is still uses as much resources, well, not as much, but it still uses a lot of precious resources that we could use. It's also ethically bad because animals feel pain. A meat eater wastes more water to feed than a non-meat eater. A vegan only uses about 300 gallons of water overall to feed them when you account the water they use to grow the grains and the vegetables and stuff. A lacto-ovo vegetarian uses about 4 times more of the amount of water vegans use, and a meat eater uses 14 times more water. Cows also emit a lot of bad gases like methane. They emit about 21 more times than carbon dioxide emissions. They do this through like belching or the other part. Cows can belch about 25 to 130 gallons of methane gas a day, and that's the most toxic. Eating meat supports animal overproduction, and it's wasteful to transport all the meat products, and to kill cows, it costs more. So being a vegetarian has a lot of benefits. It can improve your health and the environment. It's not as easy to be a vegetarian or a vegan, today with so many products that they have, such as soy and tofu and substitute meats. So with all the health benefits and to yourself and to the environment, vegetarianism really is the best way to go.
So Joy, what did you think?
I thought the structure was set up pretty nicely. I felt that the voice could have been a little bit more animated. There were some strong lead points to the speech, but